the whole notion of asset management seems to be still confused between, managing assets or strategic asset management is a distinction I keep trying to make. People tend to make it more complicated than it needs to be, and they look for big solutions to big problems when really sometimes the simplest solutions are the ones you need. And maybe you just need a series of simple solutions to solve a big problem. So it's that kind of a conversation that I think asset management really, the thinking behind asset management really helps with. It's like the old adage of, what's the problem you're trying to solve, and having clarity with that and really line that up. But then I like the fact that ISO 55000 specifically brings in life cycle and value and things like that are a little more intangible concepts that don't always get addressed. And like I said, in the public world, you've got short time horizons. People aren't thinking 20, 30, 40, 50 years out. Things like total cost of ownership, it's a straightforward concept, but it really escapes most people, it seems, in practice. Not because they're not capable of thinking about it. It's just because it's not a habit. But it's all very practical stuff. It's what have you got? How do you track it? What kind of shape is it in? I mean, and it's not that these things are so difficult. It's really just common sense, right? But codifying common sense and applying it in a successful, useful way, that's the part that's not so easy. And I continually circle back to the growing realization that assets really aren't the problem, and information really isn't the problem, and data really isn't the problem. More and more, I think it's just people. It's like we just can't get out of our own way, Even like-minded people speak different languages. Coming out of the federal government, working out with Woolpert now for almost, I guess, going on 4 years. It's really the same thing I did at the core, setting up asset management and walking people through to whatever degree they're comfortable. And that's one of the things I really like about ISO 55000 is it's completely scalable. I mean, I used to tell people, because I was big focused on maintenance management in particular, which is in my mind a subset of asset management. You don't need fancy computer systems and you don't need high powered consultants. You just need clarity. I mean, you could do most of this stuff on a cocktail napkin, if you really just think it through. And there's a lot of federal organizations, I think, more and more coming to the table, really seeing the value in ISO 55000 in terms of organization and application to what they do. And reclamation and the Corps of Engineers being two really good examples. But National Park Service has been doing it for a number of years, pretty successfully as well. So there's a lot of really good examples out there in the federal government. And of course, the challenge with the federal government is very, very short time horizons. Everything's tied to budget cycles and administrations and political goals, I would say, or objectives, which are not often the same as, say, national goals. I mean, sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Creation of jobs can happen in a lot of different ways. And we're seeing that now with this infrastructure funding. It's a great thing to see happen, finally after all these years, but it's a huge amount of money. So how effectively is it going to get spent in terms of delivering true value?